Hello, this is Jerry with What's Broke Today. Today's going to be a little different episode. Instead of worrying about what's broke, I get a lot of chainsaws in, and I had the Stihl MS192 come in that needed, it wasn't idling good, so I did a carburetor adjust, a new spark plug, sharpened the chain. And while it was here, I had another customer come out, and he was like he was wanting a little saw, but these little top handle Stihls, I think the cheapest I've seen one is around $370, and I've seen them up as high as around $700 if you get the actual arborist saw, the commercial, full-on tree climbing saw. And of course, Charles had asked me, he saw this one here, which is the V Modest 3900 that's on eBay for $132. And of course, the guy that owns the Stihl, he always buys the best of the best, and they don't really worry about what it costs, where Charles is always wanting to spend the least amount of money he can. And he saw the Stihl, figured it was almost $400, figured he could buy 3 of these and wear them out before he went through one of those. So I told him that I'll just buy one of these, and we'll take it, I'll put it together, take it out and test it and see how it cuts, and I'll probably send it home with him and let him use it a little too. That he'll probably end up buying one because he'll use it and like it probably. But of course, and this is one of those segments where the next segment I'm going to go through assembly of this and what all was in the box when I got it, because the original part I filmed for this I accidentally deleted. So if you watch any of my other videos, you probably notice I'm not the best at this filming, but I'll get better. Give me time. But yeah, I'll go ahead and get the next segment rolling, and you can see the assembly of this, and then we'll go out back, cut up some firewood, and then go over how each one of them performed when I get done testing them. I'm back now. I unboxed everything. Of course, it comes with the chain braking adjuster that I already took off and was looking at to see that the actual chain adjuster is mounted in the brake assembly and adjusts with a screw on the outside. 2 13mm headed nuts that hold it on, and of course our sprocket. We got a 12-inch bar, which looks very generic, but it does have the roller nose on it. Came with a little guard to go over the chain. Of course, instruction book and a set of cheesy gloves that probably don't fit my hands. A chain that actually, it's hard to tell looking at it, but it's sharp and just visually looks like a pretty good chain. Then we get a tool bag. Inside the bag, I think that's everything. We've got screws that are supposed to hold the, I think they call this the dog, with the teeth on it, or spikes. That part was missing out of the box, so I'm getting that sent to me, and I'll put that on later. And then it comes with this little hook thing that would mount back here. So if you want to clip it on a belt or something, and then there's a screw in there for that. We get a itty bitty, probably carburetor adjusting screwdriver. It's a little flat blade. And then this Allen wrench, it's 2 different size Allens, a small, and then these both look the same size. That haven't dug around yet, but I'm not sure. I'm not really sure what that's for, because our adjustment in here looks like a flat blade screwdriver, or probably the Phillips of that. Well, yeah, and that fits in there just fine. So have no idea. And of course it comes with a file for resharpening your chain. And then if you have an extra chain, it comes with a little box to put the chain in. So we'll start out with, I'll get the bar and figure out, get the chain going the right direction. Because believe it or not, I've actually had people drop off chainsaws that wouldn't cut and they put the chain on backwards. So we always want to make sure we get it on right. And it looks like, if I can get that out of there, you got to get the chain around the drum probably first. That's another one of those things, if I wasn't doing a video, it went on the first time. We can set the bar up there and get the chain down in the groove, like so. And that looks good, and I think that's too far forward, so. And this, we can just turn it counterclockwise. It'll move this little pin back, because looking at where the hole is, I need to be just barely in front of the rear. You know, I need to get this back where it's just slightly in front of that rear hole. There's something about like that, which I doubt you can see that very well. Make sure the chain brake's released, and we'll just line up the bolts, and that should, yep, that slid right up on there. And then we can start the two nuts. I'm going to cheat a little. I'm going to use my deep well to kind of screw those up where I want them, and then we'll rotate that a little bit. And as you can see, we got quite a bit of slack, so we'll just go in here and turn it clockwise a little, and now turn it where I can get to it and tighten that up. And I always take and lift the bar up, because usually when you're cutting, if you don't, you're going to end up moving it anyway, and you'd be amazed just that little bit of movement, how it affects the slack of the chain. So, and this being the first go around, I may get it just a hair tighter. Okay, that looks pretty good. And we'll just snug the nuts up, and it's another one of those things you know, I don't know how, you need it tight, but I don't know that I would lay on it as hard as you can tighten it. I just want it good and snug. And see, I tighten that up, and then after I rotate it just a little bit, it's got a little more slack in it, so let's loosen that back up. Okay. Now we can snug these back down. So yeah, really, I mean, out of the box, I mean, really, unboxing it and putting everything together like that, you're talking, I'd say, you know, less than 10 minutes. And of course on here we've got two reservoirs, and it's hard to see, but the top one has a picture of the gas pump. It's a picture of the chain with an oil drop above it. And the manual on this says that we want to use 10W30 motor oil on the bar. So set that up there, and it says my tool trailer, and I always keep all kinds of stuff in there because never know where I'm going to be working. So we'll take some 10W30 and pour in the oil tank. And you can kind of see through it, so I'm not going to fill it all the way full, because my experience is chainsaws, you leave the bar oil thing full, they like to leak. So we'll call that a little over half full. I'll put the cover back on it. And luckily these look like I'm going to be able to do them with my fingers and not need a tool. And then the top one is the gas, and it came with this cute little jug, and they actually recommend 25-to-1 gas oil mix. So I've got a 92 octane no ethanol fuel, and hard to see, but on the side of the bottle it has 10 and then 5, so I'm sure it's like 2.5, 5, 7.5, 10. And then this little bottle back here on this side we've got 25-to-1 with probably 2.5, 5, 7.5, 10. You just match up 10 to 10, or if you're 20-to-1, it's got a set for that. We've got 30-to-1 and 40-to-1 on the back, and then 50-to-1 on this side. And then unscrew that, and it did come with a cute little funnel to put down in there to pour the fuel in. So it being the first go around, I just pour fuel in, but if you're out working, make sure you wipe that funnel out, because you don't want to dump through the funnel and put dirt down in the fuel tank. That actually holds quite a bit of fuel. I'm going to fill it almost completely full. And there's our funnel, lid back on. Alright, screw that back down in. Actually, if this works good, I'll probably break down and probably buy just a regular can for gas for this, because that's kind of, I don't know, chintzy. And of course we've got, hard to see, but in here we have a primer bulb. So we'll work the primer, and got fuel in it, and then of course our on-off switch is you push it down and it automatically goes back to on, and then our trigger lock, and then back here's our choke that when we pull this out, it actually opens the throttle a little bit, and then when you pull the throttle, the choke pops back in. And then on the back end here is our air filter, which I haven't checked, but I'm sure I can buy replacement filters. And yeah, I guess it's kind of a plastic mesh screen that you can blow through it. It's not really any kind of a fiber, but those are some super tiny holes in that. And that just fits back up there, and cover on. And we tighten that down. All right, well, we are ready to go out and take our saw out for a test, but I don't know if I'm going to do that immediately, but I'll take the camera out, and I'll take this saw, our V Modest 3900 saw, which, you know, I see V-Modest, and of course it's an eBay chainsaw, and I'm sure it's a China produced product. But so far it seems pretty good. And another thing I like about this is the pull start. It's got one of those where you pull it out gentle and it like winds up, and then it spins the motor fairly fast. So you don't have to worry about yanking hard. You're just gonna have to just basically do a pull. I don't know if you can hear that, but I think that should start easy once I set the choke and am ready. So I'll get back with you as soon as I get everything else set up. Okay, well, this is Jerry with What's Broke Today. We're back with our two chainsaws that I've got a customer's MS192, and this is the TC version. basically I sharpened the chain on this and then just did a little adjustment on the carburetor, and I put a spark plug in it. It just wasn't idling good, so we got that squared away. And then we got the brand new V-Modest 3900 off of eBay. I'm gonna fire them both up. I got some small sticks here that are for my fire pit, and then we'll go over here to this tree that fell when we had the high wind a week ago, and we'll cut some chunks off of it with both of them, and we'll see how they do. Then I think I'll start out with the Stihl, which I already know pretty much how it cuts because I've been using it. So here we go. I was gonna say that, I mean, maybe a little cold-natured getting it started, but once it's running, gets a little heat in it, man, cuts and works like a champ. That I'm gonna go grab another limb to bring up here, and we'll get started with the V-Modest. Yeah, 'cause I've not been lacking for stuff to cut up, because some of the wind we've had lately is taking all kinds of limbs out of these trees. All right. say that it surprised me. Worked great. I should have, after using a little, it needs the chain tightened up. But yeah, in the overall, it ran good. Now, I had someone over a few days ago. I did start it up, and probably in the beginning, the biggest difference between the two, this is noisy. I mean, you definitely want some kind of hearing protection. I mean, it could use a little bit more dampening. That when I look down inside the holes of that muffler, there ain't much in there. Where the Stihl is much quieter. With the sharp chain, the Stihl cuts great. So I just say right now, based on noise, I'd go with the Stihl. But based on cost, the V Modest. I'll use this for a few weeks, maybe a couple months. Then we'll come back and do a follow-up video and see how it's doing after it's got some hours on it, because I've got plenty to cut up. Plus I got a lot of trees to cut down that are dead, so it's going to get its work out. Because the main reason I got this was somebody wanted to see how it worked, and a nice one-handed saw is handy to have. And weight roll wise, I bet you the V Modest is a little heavier, but it isn't that much different. But yeah, I was surprised. It worked really well. But I appreciate you watching this video on the dueling of the chainsaws. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you want to see more of what I got coming, please subscribe. And I appreciate you watching. Have a great day.